Seeing none, seeing none, people, delegates in favor of the motion put forward by the delegate of Japan.
Sorry, Honorable Chair, I joined late. Can I know what the motion was?
The motion was to
resume the
resume
meeting.
the meeting, which was previously abruptly ended. Seeing a clear majority, the motion passes. We were into the SSL, so continuing with the SSL, now we had UAE on the list. UAE, you may begin in a moment.
Yeah. Hope I'm audible to everyone. Am I audible?
Yes,
Delegates respond.
delegate.
Okay.
Yeah.
You may start.
What the world needs now is solidarity. And with solidarity, we can defeat the virus and make the world a better place with no reverberations from the current crisis. Our own very chair of UNHRC, Elizabeth T.G. Fisberger, respected chairperson and assistant chairperson, and my fellow delegates. In this era of highly progressed technology, monitoring and elimination of the COVID-19 is much simpler than the last epidemic of Spanish flu that happened in 1910s. But a very entity of cholera in the universe, the highly progressed methods of surveillance and contact tracing also raise serious questions regarding privacy and proper data management. My nation, United Arab Emirates, has produced a lot of strict measures and various digital surveillance was used when the first patient was diagnosed with coronavirus on March 22nd. As the days progressed, the number of patients with the virus also rose, making the government of my nation facing dilemma to stop further spread of the virus. The nation launched a small national app called as a Trace COVID. And this Trace COVID app can be downloaded and installed by anyone living in the United Arab Emirates. And the data which is collected is highly confidential and doesn't contain any personal information of the resident, making it impossible for any privacy casualties in the future. The app will only deactivate once the individual has accepted the terms and conditions. And the government has never made use of this app a mandatory, respecting the individual privacy of our residents. United Arab Emirates is a country whose strength is completely based on its residents. And we as a nation do not compromise any situation that destructs the dignity of our distinguished citizens, and even during this great crisis we are going through. But contact tracing being an effective method of eliminating the spread of this epidemic from our residents, it is important for us to safeguard the right to health and life of our nation by respecting the right to privacy of the vulnerable residents, of not making tracing technological apps and gadgets mandatory in the whole nation, allowing them to have a choice to whether to be traced.
Delegate, you have exhausted your time.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, delegates and chair and assistant chair.
Thank you so much. On the GSL list, we had the delegate of Ireland. Due to technical glitch, she was not able to speak. Would you like to go on next? Ireland, do we have you?
Yeah. Yes, Ireland is present.
Okay, turn on your camera and start speaking. Delegate of Ireland,
Yeah,
are you speaking?
am I audible?
Yes, delegate, you are.
There is some technical glitch still. Just a second. Yeah, am I audible?
Delegate, is she audible?
No.
Yes. I'm really sorry. I won't be able to speak up.
But we can hear you, delegate. You can try.
I'm getting disconnected again and again. I don't know.
Okay, we'll give you time. Next up, we have the delegate of China. Do we have China?
Am I audible?
Yes, delegate.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Delegate, would you mind switching on your camera?
It's on. 1 minute.
Delegate, are you there? China?
China is not in the meeting.
Devanshi texted her personally and asked her to join.
Yes.
By that time, can we have Singapore?
Delegate of Singapore.
Delegate of Singapore, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You may start speaking. You have 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Delegate,
Good
unmute
afternoon.
yourself.
Am I
Everyone to
audible?
unmute? Yes, you are.
Yes.
Start speaking, delegate.
Good afternoon, everyone, all the delegates, and thank you, Chair, for recognizing me. Since the coronavirus outbreak, the Singapore government have worked tirelessly to ensure that the affected are isolated, contained, and all the contains that may have made in recent days prior to infection and tracked and traced. These efforts seem to be paying off, as Singapore, being as the one of the first 3 countries to report a confirmed case of coronavirus, has largely maintained to contain the virus and prevent it from becoming a nationwide crisis. The huge part of this success is down to the contact tracing efforts of the government's Ministry of Health in collaboration with the Singapore's police force. People who have close contact with someone who is infected with the virus are at higher risk of becoming infected and potentially infecting those who have the close contact with that. The Ministry of Health in Singapore and overall in charge of contact tracing operation in Singapore, and the police are called in help to in some cases. Where the details of activity or movements of a patient is incomplete or any further verification is required, the police will come in the support of MOHs in these investigation circumstances. The MOH carries out with this is known as the backward tracing of the movements and activity of the infected patient for the 2 weeks prior to them first identifying symptoms. Then this will help identify links to the other cases and potential sources of transmission. MH officers also do forward tracing to identify who the infected patient had contacted after getting symptoms. These people may need to be quarantined and tested if unwell. When there are gaps in the
Delegate, you have
contact
exhausted
tracing.
your time. Delegate, you have exhausted your time. Thank you so
Sorry,
much.
thank you.
Delegates, please acknowledge the presence of our MUN coordinator, Manju Singh, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here.
Yes, continue.
Thank you,
Thank you. God bless you.
Delegate of Ireland, can you speak now? Do we have Ireland here?
Yes, we do have Ireland.
Ireland, can you try now? Ireland, can you try?
Ireland has left the meeting. Should we move forward to China?
China is already done. So we have China here. China?
Yes, we.
Yes, you may start.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The right to privacy is explicitly stated in Article 12 of the 1948 Universal Declaration of Human Rights, as no one shall be subjected to arbitrary interference with his privacy, home, or correspondence. While a pandemic like COVID-19 put all nations in a vulnerable position and makes personal tracking apps a necessity, data privacy is also one of the key concerns. China believes that the data collectors have a duty to protect individuals' personal information and it cannot obtain, disclose, or conduct transaction of such data without consent. Article 40 of the Constitution of the People's Republic of China provides freedom and privacy of communication. The freedom and Article 4 of the China's Postal Law says that freedom and privacy are protected by law. Last year, the Cyberspace Administration of China formally issued a regulation on the protection of children's personal information online. The People's Republic of China, where the novel coronavirus had originated, initiated a contact tracing app to protect and prevent further spread, where people were required to install the Alipay Health Code app.
Are you done, delegate? Are you done?
Thank you. Yes.
You have good number of 20 seconds remaining.
I would delegate China yields a time to the chair.
Delegate, can you provide me with the evidence of Article 30 of your Constitution? You can WhatsApp me or mail it to me.
Sure, the delegate of China will provide it.
You have tonight's time. Thank you so much. With lapsing our time for the GSL and SSL, are there any motions on the floor? Are there any motions on the floor? Yes, the delegate of Vietnam, you are recognized. Malaysia, recognized. Vietnam. Australia, you are recognized. Yes, delegate of Vietnam.
Thank you, Honorable Rais. The delegate of Vietnam would like to raise a motion to suspend General Speaker's list and move on to a moderated caucus on the topic. The country stands on curbing the pandemic for a total time of 50 minutes with individual speakers' time 2 minutes.
Individual speakers' time, sorry?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay. Yes, delegate of Malaysia, your motion, please.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
The delegate of Malaysia would like to raise a motion to suspend the formal debate and move into moderate caucus for total time being 30 minutes and each speaker getting 90 seconds on the topic. Can we track COVID-19 and protect privacy at the same time?
Australia, your motion, please. Sir, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, sorry. So the delegate of Australia would like to suspend the GSN and would like to move to unmoderated caucus for the time of 8 minutes.
For the time of?
8 minutes.
8 minutes. Yeah. Each speaker getting?
Unmoderated caucus.
Oh, sorry, unmoderated caucus. Okay, let's move into voting. Motion put forward by the delegate of Vietnam. People in favor of the motion. Delegates in favor of the motion. We have 3, 4. Any more? Delegates in favor of the motion put forward by the delegate of Malaysia. Delegates in favor of the motion put forward by the delegate of Australia. Australia's motion, how many of you are in favor?
Five delegates.
5. With clear majority with delegate of Malaysia, your motion passes. You have 30 seconds with each speaker getting 90 seconds on the topic. How can we protect right to privacy? And ma'am, can you repeat your motion for everyone? Malaysia. Can you
Yeah.
just repeat your
Can
motion
uh,
word?
can we track COVID-19 and protect privacy at the same time?
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Delegates wishing to speak for the motion.
Just a minute. Would the delegate of Malaysia first like to speak or be the last speaker?
First speaker.
Okay. Delegates wishing to speak. Japan, you are recognized. New Zealand, you are recognized. Australia, UAE,
Vietnam,
Vietnam. Can you
Spain,
raise your hand? Spain. Delegates, raise your placard to the camera so that I can see you. Vietnam, you are recognized already. Ireland, you are recognized. Any more speakers? Okay, moving into the moderated caucus, we'll be adding up names later. First speaker, we have the delegate of Malaysia. You have 90 seconds, ma'am. You may start.
Am I audible?
yes, you're audible.
Thank you, EB, for recognition. By presenting aggregated location data in an accessible and researchable format for epidemiologists studying COVID-19, the project would enable researchers and policymakers to see how members of the public move around their communities. When paired with some metrics such as the number of new infections or mortality rates, the data would guide policymakers as they grappled with when and where to left stay at home orders. Facebook is also supplying the network with data. Correspondence between the various groups gives researchers confidence in the trends they are seeing. One data set is not going to show what's going on. Location data are the bread and butter of ad tech. They let marketers know you recently shopped for running shoes, you're trying to lose weight, and how an abiding affection for cattle corn. Apps on cell phones emit a constant trail of longitude and latitude reading, making it possible to follow consumers through time and space. Location data are often triangulated with other. Similarly, in Canon's silvers of personal information, so many in fact that a number of data brokers claim to have around 5,000 data points on almost every American. It's a
Delegate, you have
lucrative.
exhausted your time.
Thank you.
Next up, we have delegate of Vietnam, yes. To what point do you rise?
Point of parliamentary inquiry.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
The delegate would like to know what's the individual speaker time.
Individual
The
speaker
individual
time of
speaker
90
time.
seconds. 90 seconds, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. After delegate of Malaysia, we have Japan, and following we have New Zealand, Australia, UAE, Vietnam, Spain, and Ireland. Anyone who wishes to speak can give me your names via chat. Yes, Japan, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Even in times of emergency, when states restrict human rights for public health reasons, international human rights law says that measures taken that limit people's rights and freedoms must be lawful, necessary, and proportionate. And states of emergency need to be limited in duration. In Japan, emergency lasted for just above a month and reduced the cases to 0.5 per 100,000 people. The people of Japan were requested to stay home and not many restrictive measures were taken. Now, masks are ubiquitous. Coco, Japan's contact tracing app, is a free smartphone application that alerts users when they may have been in close proximity to someone infected with the coronavirus. It does not collect personal data at all, People can use it without worry. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said at